Dear students, in the last class we have talked about basic part, the first one, how are the basic concepts of biology and nature and scope of biology, various fields in biology, some scientists in biology. We are going to start the next one as biological classification. This is the second unit under the first mode. First, whatever we have started, I told you, the first unit we are covering the scope of biology, biological classification, Plantae, Animalia, and the structural organization in animals. So many we are going to complete in this unit. So whatever we have done that in the last class and today's also, we are going to discuss very few questions, and some of the questions are given in your booklet. We can just go through that, and some of them I am going to discuss here today. So what is the first one question? It is about what is the name of book written by Aristotle, right? We know that Aristotle is popularly known as the father of biology. So before starting such questions, because one or two such questions you will get it, that is name of the scientist and the books written and the history of biology, right? Aristotle, we call him as father of biology. So you need to know some of the name of scientists and what they have contributed, right? So Aristotle, they have given four options: Historia Naturala, Systema Naturae, Historia Animalia, Physiologic Zoologic. These are the four units, four answers given. You have to choose one among them. But before getting into just by chance type of answer, you just learn what are the name of scientists and what the books they are published and what part they are famous, right? So first of them, it is about the name of the scientist I am giving you. First, you know, Aristotle, father of biology; Theophrastus, father of botany; then same person, Aristotle, father of zoology also; then father of medicine was Hippocrates. I hope you know Hippocrates. He gave the Hippocrates oath for medical students. Then Darwin, father of evolution. Then apart from that, genetics, father of genetics was John Gregor Mendel. Father of modern genetics was T.H. Morgan. Then other than that, various classifications you need to know. What are the classifications we have? Some of them are natural classification, some are artificial classification, some are the phylogenetic classification. With their names, I'll just give you the list of scientists what they have proposed. So you can see here the name of scientists and their books or their famous thing I have written. First one is about Lamarck. He wrote a book called Philosophic Zoologic. Philosophiae Zoologic. Means about the zoology, he gave the basics of it. That's what his book written. Its name was Philosophiae Zoologic. Then comes Marcello Malpighi. Marcello Malpighi, you know very well his name about he discovered the Malpighian corpuscle. Malpighian corpuscle or Malpighian structure. Malpighian structure, Malpighian corpuscle. So Marcello Malpighi gave a book called Anatomia Plantarum. Anatomia Plantarum was the name given by him, the book written by him. Then comes Hippocrates. Hippocrates, we know just now I told you he was named as father of medicine. He gave all the basic things in medicine. Robert Hooke, you must be knowing Robert Hooke was the first person to identify microscope, right? So he used some crude lenses and he prepared one hand lens with the hand microscope. That's a hand lens in the sense the one by which you can say slightly enhance the size of organisms, right? Enhance the size of the plants or flowers and all. So he gave a hand lens first, later he discovered a compound microscope. He wrote a book called Micrographia. Micrographia was the name of the book written by Robert Hooke. He gave actually the cell structure. The first cell was discovered by him. Then Theophrastus, he gave a book, Historia Plantarum. Historia Plantarum was history of plants. He gave various, therefore we call him as part of botany. Then comes Carolus Linnaeus. As you all know, Carolus Linnaeus is famous for his binomial nomenclature. He was the first person to say that every organism must have two names. So one should be genus name, one should be the species name, right? Because every organism organism or a plant, if you talk its common name in a general, our different localities, we call different names. But if you have different names, you cannot use the same naming everywhere throughout the world. That's why we are giving different names. That is why we are unable to understand other languages. Therefore, Carolus Linnaeus was the first person to say that there should be universal naming. What is it naming? It is binomial nomenclature. What is it? The organism will have two names, one is genus, one is species. Genus include many similar character plants or animals together. Species is the one which is very specific, like we have Allium sativum or Allium cepa. Allium cepa is onion. It's a common name is onion. Allium is a genus name, species name is cepa. So Allium cepa is a genus and species name of onion, right? That's why whenever you are going to name or biology you talk about, always you feel that it is so difficult or different. It's not difficult, it is having universal naming patterns. That is binomial nomenclature, which was first given by Carolus Linnaeus. Always you should never forget about Carolus Linnaeus, because he was the one who made the rules for how binomial nomenclature has to be given, right? And apart from that, you have to follow ICBN, International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. That is, genus should start with capital name, capital letter, and species should start with a small letter. And apart from that, the naming should be in Greek or Latin. Or if it is not in Latin, you have to Latinize the name. That's what is the total story of binomial nomenclature. Some more things you have already learned it. Then other names, that is John Ingerhaus. That is John Ingerhaus. He discovered the process of photosynthesis. First time he explained that plants produce their food by using sunlight and chloroplast, carbon dioxide and water. Then R. Virchow, you heard about this name in your one of the chapters, second PUC, where you talk about the cell theory. So R. Virchow gave one theory, its name is omnis e cellula cellula. Omnis e cellula cellula means cell is produced from the pre-existing cell. One cell on division produces another cell. Cell produced from cell is called omnis e cellula cellula. This word or this particular sentence you will be getting many a times in any of the books you go through, previous exam papers you go through. Then comes Hutchinson. So now we are coming to the classification of plants. Hutchinson was the first person to give classification of plants based on the evolutionary pattern. We call that as phylogenetic classification. Till Hutchinson gave this kind of classification, very famous one was Bentham and Hooker classification, which was based on flower characters, right? That was the artificial system of classification. But here the phylogenetic classification started with Hutchinson, but later it was modified by Engler and Prandtl. I hope you know. These names you should never forget. One is Hutchinson's name, then about Bentham and Hooker and Engler and Prandtl. They are the main people who classified the plants throughout whatever number is there. Almost 90% of plants they took and classified and they named and they gave the characters of the plants in their books. Right? Therefore, you should remember their classification, their naming pattern, and on what basis they classify the plants. So, after Hutchinson, again Engler and Prandtl, their book was named as Die Natur Lichen Flangen Familien. So, these words just they will stick to your mind because the words are very different, right? Die Natur Lichen Flangen Familien was the name of the book written by Engler and Prandtl, which was also a phylogenetic classification. Then comes John Ray. He was the first person to start classification. Historia Generalis Plantarum. His book was named as Historia Generalis Plantarum. He classified the plant for the first time. Then comes Bentham and Hooker. Their classification book is Genera Plantarum. Keep these words, some of these 10 to 15 names in your mind. So anytime, just like closing your eyes, you can remember their names. Okay. So based on that, some questions have written here. We are going to discuss that. That will close the classification part. So what is the name of book written by Aristotle? Historia Naturalia, Systema Naturae, Historia Animalia, Philosophiae Zoologiae. And you know that he wrote the book Historia Animalia because he is the father of zoology. That is Aristotle. His name is Historia Animalia. So C is the right answer. So let's move to the next question. Father of botany is. So this already I had discussed. Again, much discussion is not required. Just like that, it is the Edu-Shrine. Then, who proposed natural system of classification? Means who gave a natural system of classification? One is Carolus Linnaeus, next is Hutchinson, C is Bentham and Hooker, D is Engler and Franklin. So just now already we have discussed natural system of classification is something which is having some flubber characters, something like that. They are taking some flubber characters and explaining the details. That was given by scientist Bentham and Hooker. So it is not having the phylogenetic importance. Just that's why whenever you talk about Bentham and Hooker classification, they classified the plants based on the petals actually. That is gamopetale, polypetale and apetale. That was a classification. First comes the polypetale, next comes the gamopetale, third comes the apetale. Means based on the petals whether they are free, fused or there is a perianth. Polypetale, free petals, gamopetale, fused petals. Apetale, there are no differentiation of petals and sepals, they are actually having perianth lobes. That based on that they started, therefore Bentham and Hooker classification, later it was not so much accepted because it was not based on the evolutionary pattern, but they gave wonderful keys. Their classification was, till today you get any new plant, we can take Bentham and Hooker's flora, we can easily quote where it belongs to, we can classify it very easily. So Bentham and Hooker classification is a wonderful classification. It has very good keys. Only thing, one drawback of this is there is no evolutionary pattern or phylogeny in this. Then the evolutionary history of particular organism is called, means when you talk about evolution, I hope you know this. Evolution means when the plant originated, which was a simple character, how it went on modifying and how they are complicated, how the evolution happened. So that character, what do you call it? It's called as either phylogeny, ontogeny, heredity and histology. Let us learn what are these. You know, histology is the study of tissues. That cannot be the answer. Heredity is the ability of characters to transfer from parents to offspring. That is again the genetics. It's a kind of genetics, it's a heredity. Then ontogeny is the study of how it is originated, which is cell, origin of a cell and how it is modified. Phylogeny is the evolutionary history of particular organism. Therefore, we study it as a phylogenetic classification, that is A. 5 kingdom classification of living beings was given by. So this is the one last question I am discussing in this chapter, this particular unit, that second unit of the first module, that is about the kingdom of classification. You know that the first 2 kingdom classification was given by Aristotle, where they gave only Plantae and Animalia. Some are plants which are photosynthesizing, animals they cannot synthesize their own food, they are all heterotrophs. Later, third kingdom was given by Mr. Haeckel, Ernst Haeckel. He gave another kingdom, its name was Protista. Protista had both plant and animal characters. Plants having the photosynthetic character, animals having no photosynthesis. There were some organisms which were having plant characters also, animal characters also. Together they came under one group that comes under Protista. Like you can study that Euglena. Euglena is locomotory also, it has chloroplast also, therefore it comes under Protista. So Haeckel gave 3 kingdom classification. One is Protista, Plantae, Animalia. Next comes 4 kingdom classification, which was given by Copeland. Copeland introduced one more new class, that is Monera, right? Monera, Protista, Plantae, Animalia. Monera was one group which had prokaryotic cells. Prokaryotic means very primitive cells having no proper nuclear membrane around the nucleus. They were all studied in the Monerans. Monerans, you learn the bacteria, you learn blue-green algae. Then comes Protista, where plant and animal characters are together. Then comes Plantae, plants all green plants, Animalia all locomotory heterotrophs. Okay. Then last was given by R.H. Whittaker. Whittaker gave a 5 kingdom classification which included one more kingdom. Its name was fungi, that is mycota. So according to Whittaker, there are 5 kingdoms. One is Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom mycota, kingdom Plantae, kingdom Animalia. There were 5 kingdoms according to him. Till today we are accepting the same classification. One is Monera, having all unicellular but the prokaryotic organisms like bacteria and protein. Second comes Protista, which is having the characters which may be unicellular, multicellular. Actually, Protista has no proper definition. It is either unicellular or multicellular. It may be autotrophic, it may be heterotrophic, it may be colonial. Therefore, almost our protozoans come under that, dinoflagellates come under that, diatoms come under that, some fungi comes under that. Therefore, Protista is not having proper boundaries. That's why it is ill-defined, less defined kingdom is Protista. Then third comes mycota. Mycota is about the fungi. They are all non-photosynthetic plants, we call them. Right? They are having fungi. They don't have chloroplast. They depend upon other epiphytic, like they depend on dead and decaying matter and decay. That is about the fungi. Like you have penicillium, you have agaricus. All those come under fungi. Then comes Plantae. Plantae, all green plants, they are autotrophic. They prepare their own food by using chloroplast and sunlight and carbon dioxide and water. Together they produce the food. Therefore, all the plants starting from algae, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, Gymnosperms, Angiosperms come under Plantae. So, whenever you talk about plants, you have to start with algae. Algae, the thin thread-like things, they are present in water, they are hydrophytic, and their body is called filaments. Second comes bryophytes, they are cushion-like structure, they are land plants, but they require water for the reproduction. Therefore, they are called amphibians of plant kingdom. Then comes the ferns, that's pteridophytes. These are also non-flowering plants, but they are the total land plants. They don't require water. They stay on the terrestrial habitat, and they have developed for the first time vascular tissue. They are called first vascular plants. Then comes gymnosperms. They are the flower. They come under flowering order. The earlier three I told you, they are all coming under cryptogams. Phanerogams are the flowering plants where you study the gymnosperms and angiosperms. Gymnosperms are those which are having the flowering character, but the seeds will not be covered by the fruit wall. They are naked seeded plants. Then comes angiosperms. They are called the covered seeded plant. Their seed will be covered by the fruit wall formed with the ovary. Ovary covering will be there, no? That ovary, or the whenever you talk about ovary will have outer covering. That covering will be surrounding the seed and it nourishes the seed. Therefore, they are called the fruits containing fruit wall. So that's about the angiosperms. So with all that background, last question answer you might have got it now. 5 kingdom classification of living beings was given by not Copeland, neither Haeckel. It should be R.H. Whittaker. This is the right answer, not Aristotle. That's how 5 classes, only 5 questions are discussed, but remaining lot of questions I have given you in your booklet. Just go through them. In the next unit after this, we will discuss about the first one, kingdom Monera, where we start with. Before that, one virus we will discuss, then we talk about the bacteria, then we get into the protistans and Plantae, Animalia. All that we have to come.